he's not
They
going
didn't
to
even acknowledge it. It's funny how they acknowledge the name. The name would come up, but there was not even a response. It was just mute. You know what I mean? Because the best way to just take away the energy is not even to respond to it. There was never a response until Lomachenko's last fight when he tweeted about him. Never had I heard Davis even mention Lomachenko.
Barely a week has passed since Tank Davis's historic knockout victory against Frank Martin, yet a large list of contenders is already vying to face him. Shakur Stevenson is among many who would like to challenge Tank Davis, but before that battle can take place, Davis is preparing to take on Vasili Lomachenko. Boxing promoter Bobby R. has said that Lomachenko is eager to make the fight happen. He told the boxing scene we're up for that fight. Lomachenko is up for that. When we sit down, we will see if it's feasible, but Lomachenko would like to do that fight. Lomachenko and Tank have been avoiding each other for years, but now it seems that their teams are finally on the same page to set up a fight between the two. They want the match to happen later this year in November. Revealed Carl Moretti has been talking to Lou Dubas for a couple of weeks now. Hopefully we'll put it together for...
Again, I'm optimistic that the negotiations will go well. You never can guarantee that, but, the PBC guys are professional. My people are professionals, and they'll...
For some time in November, nobody is dragging anybody to the table. Both sides know it's a big fight, which means they're looking forward to earning a lot of money, and they're both competitive guys. He went on to say that he was optimistic about the negotiations. While nothing is guaranteed, these are all professionals, so they will work it out. So again, I'm optimistic that the negotiations will go well. You never can guarantee that, but the PBC guys are professional. My people are professionals, and they'll work it out. Some fans wanted to see Tank Davis face Shakur Stevenson first, but it seems that there is more hype for the match with Lomachenko. In Stevenson's most recent fight, he prevailed by a very dull decision over Edwin de los Santos, while Lomachenko defeated George Kambosos Jr. via technical knockout after dominating the bout. Arum countered that it's just a bigger struggle, adding that any agreements with Shakur must wait until he's a free agent. Davis and
The thing that people don't recognize about Shakur is, you said it exactly right. You come in 6, he goes back 8.5. But he also covers the same distance. When you go back, he'll step back in. So people say he runs. He steps back in, but a lot of times he doesn't throw. That's the problem.
No,
he steps back in and he mutes you. By stepping back in, now you put your hands, you leave your hands home, because now he's pressing you mentally as well. He steps out and he steps back in as well. It's a part of the in the ring fight that doesn't involve punching, and sometimes it looks boring because people don't get it and don't understand the IQ of it. But he controls you a lot of times without throwing, because when he's throwing,
Lomachenko have more of a fight than Davis versus Shakur. Shakur's fight on July 6th will leave him a free agent. We'll need to know what he has planned before we commit to him beyond this, because if he resigns, we might not be his supporters. He's a free agent after July 6th, so I won't go into details about the incredibly fascinating battles we have planned for him. He's been an excellent combatant for us. It has been a pleasure to elevate him, and we will watch for future developments. Arum added that WBC lightweight champion Stevenson would be a wise choice to face the victor of Tank vs. Lomachenko if a match between the two is made. He advised against hype. Shakur is a fantastic fighter. He has a hard fight scheduled for July 6th against Artem Harouan.
Kind of like Shakur. He's got his legs, his ability to control range and quick hands. And that's it. And he does it marvelously. He does it.
But if Tank Lomachenko is matched, Shakur will undoubtedly accept another contest around that time and be ready to face the victor. Shakur is a very talented fighter, and I'm sure that the winner of the Lomachenko-Tank battle would want to face Shakur. However, Paulie Malaggi, a former Italian-American professional boxer, says that Davis is trying to avoid fighting Shakur. Stevenson Malago, when Davis brought up Lomachenko following his victory over Frank Martin, Nagy became irate. Lomachenko was interested in the fight in November and had said, for sure long as we go back to the Drone Boy, and he wanted to fight them all. He told Pro Box TV that although both fighters began at featherweight, Stevenson advanced a little bit more quickly and was physically...
He is not going to please the crowd. He's not going to go and please me or please anyone else. He's going to please himself. And his temperament is not going to allow him to take those chances where some of the fans with his great talent want to see him do a little bit more. You know, he's not going to do that. But at the same time, he is that great pitcher that, you know, can disarm you. He can, you know, without throwing a 95-mile...
Larger than Lomachenko. This was discussed at the post-fight news conference. According to Hewley, Davis is picking Lomachenko because he is older than Stevenson, who is 26 years old and still in his prime. Lomachenko is 175 years old and still looks fine, but you're tanking. During the post-fight press conference last Saturday night, Davis mentioned Lomachenko, but Stevenson is currently the front-runner, and not someone you should take a chance on. Tank believes that fighting Lomachenko as a Ukrainian fighter now makes sense. May retire soon, we might not get to see them battle Shakur if he passes on this opportunity. Tank can battle Stevenson later because he still has years to live. Pulley believes the match is already over, which makes him feel differently. Davis recently defeated Martin with outstanding style, and it's possible that they're scheduling this match at this time.
The Midas touch for Lomachenko is his craftiness and his ability to shift and control angles in the ring. The Midas touch for Gervonta is one shot and it might
purely for convenience. The problem is that I was hoping to see Davis and Lomachenko. I was hoping to see Lomachenko and Davis. It's already too late, I don't need to watch Davis and Lomachenko. I want to see Stevenson and Davis now. You know what? Nobody brings up Davis and Stevenson? That's the problem I have. My issue with boxing is that they start fights when it suits them, and they have the upper hand. For Frank Martin, Davis looked amazing. The performance really pleased me. Tank should avoid fighting Shakur Stevenson because, according to critics, he performed poorly in his most recent bout against Edwin Dos Santos. However, Paulie believes that Stevenson is a strong challenger and that his style of fighting should be much better than Frank Martin's.
Against Lomachenko.
Oh man, be a great fight, I'll tell you. It'd be a great fight. What a great performance by Tank.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to systematically break his opponent down and know exactly what was going on every round, every minute of every round. He broke his fighter down, man. I mean, it's just like, it's remarkable the IQ that this kid has. You know, he definitely should be on the pound for pound list. He deserves to be on the pound for pound list. Top 5, maybe. And he's just an incredible fighter and a fun fighter.
Come on, Shakur Stevenson is a different proposition than anyone else. When Shakur is in there, the tiny issues that you saw Frank causing Davis double tenfold because Shakur is a tall, rangy southpaw with a far higher IQ and much greater stylistic variety. Paulie continued by describing Stevenson's skills in the ring. Although his style of movement may appear uninteresting to some, he claimed that it demonstrates his high cue and ring awareness, which are equally important aspects of boxing as punching. Another thing that people don't recognize about Shakur is that you said it exactly right. You come in 6, he goes back 8.5, but he also covers the same distance. When you go back, he'll step back in, so people say he steps back in, but a lot of times he doesn't throw. That's the problem. He steps back in, and he mutes. You, by stepping back in now, you put your hands, you leave your hands home, cuz now he's pressing you mentally as well. He steps out and he steps back in. As well, it's a part of in the ring fight that doesn't involve punching, and sometimes it looks boring because people don't get it and don't understand the IQ of it, but he controls you a lot of times without throwing because when he's throwing, he's so shocked. Holy wants this fight to happen when both are in their primes. While he has always favored Shakur Stevenson, he also praises Davis and feels that he is qualified for the unification match. I'd love to see the fight. I'm saying this because I want to see the fight. I think Davis is very qualified for that fight. Do I edge Shakur? I've always edged Shakur. I think Davis is very qualified for that fight. He looks terrific. He's a thinker. It's not just the twitch and the power, it's also his understanding in there. He knows how to set things up. I want to see Shakur and Tank get it on, not later. I want to see them get it on now. And their prime boxing coach and fight commentator Teddy Atlas also commented on the fight and why Davis might be avoiding Stevenson. He said Stevenson is a difficult fight for anyone. He's not just difficult to beat, he's difficult to look good against. So that's the problem too. And you know, he controls range so well. He's like Mariano Riva, the great close. For the Yankees, he only had like 2 pitches, but that's all he needed to get you out. Atlas feels that Stevenson's ability to control range and his quick hands give He's got a significant edge. That reminds me of Shakur. You know he has his legs, his ability to control range, his quick hands, and that's about it. He performs all of that brilliantly, marvelously, and impeccably. As he went on to laud Stevenson, Atlas claimed that he knew every square inch of the ring and exactly where he was. He also remarked that Stevenson had sharp eyes and was smart, as Paulie had mentioned, but that he was Mariano Rivera. His only asset is range control. You arrive at 6 in. He leaves at 8.5, counting you before you approach. Although Stevenson doesn't always behave as others would have him, Atlas believes this is just him being cautious.